I had an interesting thought about something that I saw on Pinterest the other day, and it said that you can support your black friends without supporting Black Lives Matter, just as you can support your white friends, and it doesn't mean that you support the KKK. And it made me think the same thoughts a lot of people probably have about the political climate right now and how just insane it is, and how there's this expectation that you have to be one extreme or the other. That I could have the same conversation with one of my black friends that I have with one of my conservative white friends, and they both have this extreme take that's completely opposite of the other one. I can support equality and believe in it, believe that everybody should be entitled to the same opportunities in life as long as they're willing to work for them. But I can also not support affirmative action or Black Lives Matter. And I support the police department. Got a brother who's a police officer, retired dad. And if I say those things to one person, they might think that I'm a racist, that I support the current administration, that I'm a conservative. And if I say those to someone at the other end, because I support equality and I support, laws that are going to impact racism, in a positive way, then I'm crazy liberal. And the truth is that we see people before we talk politics, right? Everyone's got someone in their life that they hold in high regard and they respect a great deal. And if they say something that's contrary to what your political beliefs are, it changes your opinion of them. And it's gotten so far away from us that we push these people out of our lives, and we think that these people that we've loved, that we've respected, that we've been close to, we suddenly want nothing to do with them. And that's just because of everything that's going on. We're being fed all this nonsense, all this bullshit, and it doesn't have to be that way. I don't want to talk too much about my political thoughts because I no longer have a Twitter account because of them. But I have a lot of black friends, a lot of minority friends, and I know that they are discriminated against, largely in part of people the way they've grown up. I don't want to say systematic racism, but but I also believe if you shoot a gun through a door and the police officer shoots back, that it's your fault. It's not anyone else's fault. But for the fact that you fired a gun, you wouldn't have gotten shot. But I think the bigger message is that we need to hear people. And when somebody sits down, or we sit down with somebody, we need to listen to what they're saying and try to understand, instead of sitting there and waiting for our opportunity to speak. And we have to realize that just because somebody thinks differently than we do, it doesn't mean that they're this super right-wing conservative or super left-wing liberal. You can be a little bit left of center, you can be a little bit, right of center. I consider myself a little bit left of center, but again, because I support the police department, I instantly get tagged as conservative and a Trump supporter, which couldn't be further from the truth. So I challenge everybody to stop, assessing how they feel about other people in their lives based on a political view that might be slightly different than yours, but more so to understand why they hold that view and try to bridge this gap that seems to exist in all of us, to find some sort of common ground and understand where people are coming from, and stop taking in all this poison that's being spewed, from both sides. And I'm guilty of it too. I start to hear something about Trump and it makes me want to just rip someone's throat out. But I'm learning that some of these people in my life that support him just because they support them, it doesn't mean they're horrible people. They've got a reason for it. And even if I don't agree with it, it's something that I should sit down and try to understand. I owe it to them as people that I care about to try and understand why it is they feel the way they do, just as they owe it to me. Instead of shutting me out, they need to sit down and hear what I have to say and try to understand it. And I think that's the only way we start to put out some of these fires around us, regardless of what the election results are. Things are going to change, and this is the way to do it. And it's not going to be easy, but I think this hole we've dug ourselves into with all this nonsense is something that is only going to change out of kindness and only going to change out of understanding. That only comes when we start to listen to people and not judge them solely on what they feel the best course of action might be, because the majority of the time it's something in between.